Imagine stepping outside after a storm. The air is fresh, the ground is wet, the clouds are slowly clearing, and then, suddenly, plop. Something hits your shoulder. You look down, and it's a fish. Wait, what? Yes, a fish. Not one, not two, sometimes dozens and even hundreds of them falling from the sky. Sounds like a bizarre joke, right? But fish rain is a real phenomenon that has been reported for centuries in places all around the world, from India to Honduras, Japan, and even the United States. So, what's going on here? Are we witnessing divine seafood delivery? Or is there a logical explanation hidden behind this splashy mystery? A rainstorm that smells like the ocean. Let's start with one of the most famous places on Earth where this happens, Lloro, Honduras. Every year, usually between May and July, the people of Lloro experience something that looks straight out of a fantasy film. After heavy thunderstorms, the streets are suddenly filled with flopping fish, real ones, alive and gasping. Locals even have a name for it, lluvia de peces, which literally means rain of fish. It's become part of their culture. They even hold a festival of the rain of fish to celebrate it every year. People come together, collect the fish, cook them, and eat them as a blessing from the heavens. But while the celebration is joyful, scientists have been scratching their heads for decades trying to figure out how on Earth, or above it, fish end up raining down from the sky. Could it be tornadoes? The most common scientific explanation points to something called a waterspout. Think of it as a tornado that forms over water instead of land. When conditions are just right, warm air above cool water, a spinning column of air forms like a blender gone rogue. That swirling force can suck up light objects from the water's surface, like algae, debris, even small fish. Once it moves inland, it eventually loses energy and drops whatever it's carrying, including, well, dinner. It's a fascinating and logical theory. But here's the catch. No one has actually ever recorded a waterspout doing this with fish in real life. That's right. We have videos of tornadoes picking up cows and cars, but no one has ever caught a waterspout sucking up fish and then raining them down miles away. So maybe there's more to it than just wind. The fish underground theory. Some locals in Lloro believe the fish don't come from the sky at all. They say the fish actually live underground in hidden streams or flooded tunnels, and that heavy rain simply forces them up to the surface. It sounds wild, but scientists who studied the fish found that most of them are small, blind cavefish, species that could survive in underground water systems. In other words, maybe it's not fish falling from the sky, maybe it's Earth spitting them out. Nature, it seems, has a sense of humor. A phenomenon older than TikTok. The first reports of animal rain date back hundreds of years. In 1861, people in Singapore claimed frogs fell from the sky. In 1873, Kansas had a shower of toads. And in 2005, a town in Serbia reported raining frogs and tadpoles. In 2010, the city of Wiseuse, Australia, experienced fish rain twice in 1 week. Witnesses said fish fell like it was hailing. Some were still alive, flapping on the streets. So it's not just fish. It's frogs, spiders, snakes, and even worms. It's as if nature occasionally decides to throw a surprise party, and the guest list includes the entire aquarium. But is it really raining animals? Let's get one thing straight. It's not actually raining animals, in the sense that they form in clouds and fall like water. What really happens, in most cases, is that extreme weather systems like storms, whirlwinds, or waterspouts lift up animals from ponds or rivers and carry them long distances before dropping them somewhere unexpected. Imagine a bunch of confused frogs being sucked into a sky vacuum cleaner, spinning through the clouds, and then landing miles away in someone's backyard. Terrifying for the frogs, hilarious for humans. But what makes the phenomenon so mysterious is that these events are often localized. It's not like the entire city gets fish. Sometimes just one street gets rained on, while the next block over stays completely dry. That randomness is what makes it feel magical, or creepy, depending on how you look at it. When science meets superstition. For centuries, people saw animal rain as a divine sign. In medieval Europe, they thought it was punishment from God. In other places, it was seen as a miracle, food falling from heaven. In Euro, many still believe it's a blessing from Father José Manuel Sabriana, a Spanish priest from the 18th century who prayed for food for the poor. After his prayer, legend says fish started raining from the sky, and it's been happening ever since. Science says waterspouts, faith says miracles. The truth? Maybe a bit of both. What makes it so fascinating? Part of what makes fish rain so captivating is that it blurs the line between reality and legend. It's real enough to be documented, but mysterious enough to stay magical. It reminds us that nature isn't just about logic. It's also about surprise. And maybe that's why we still talk about it. Because even in the world full of satellites, weather radar, and high-speed cameras, some things still manage to stay unexplained. A touch of humor. Imagine being that one person who didn't believe it and went outside during the storm. 5 minutes later, you're holding an umbrella full of sardines. Or a cat who suddenly looks up at the sky thinking, best day ever. It's funny to think about, until you realize it actually happens. Nature doesn't just throw lightning or rain, sometimes it throws fish, literally. The bigger picture. At its core, the fish rain mystery teaches us something about how little we actually know. We think we've mapped every ocean, studied every cloud, but then nature drops a reminder, literally, that it still has secrets. It also shows how science and wonder can coexist. You can study the physics of a waterspout and still feel amazed that somewhere, somehow, a storm can make it rain fish. Final thoughts. So, is fish rain real? Yes. At least the events are real. We've seen them, documented them, celebrated them. But as for the why, the full explanation remains slippery, just like the fish themselves. Maybe it's science, maybe it's faith, or maybe it's just one of nature's ways of reminding us that the world is still a little weirder than we think. And honestly, isn't that kind of wonderful? So next time it rains, maybe glance up. Because who knows? It might not be water that's falling. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wiseuse for more fascinating stories about our strange, mysterious, and completely unpredictable planet.